when you wrote this? Like,
Like
why
she
do
was
we
a
care about Wendy?
mm, I care about Wendy because she cares for Danny and wants what's best for him, and she's the only one who was able to well, she wasn't the only one, but she was able to fend off Jack for a while to get Danny to get Dick, like to communicate with Dick.
Okay, so we care about Wendy, um, and she is a what did you say? You wrote it in here. A loving mom. Danny is not. I always think like it's the annoying little child, but he's actually what did you say down here? You said uh he, he's not immature. He's actually how would you describe Danny in the book? Like he's not actually mature.
Like
He's not
Danny in the
immature.
book, he's not mature, but he's not immature, basically. But he is immature because of the imaginary friend that he has.
Sure. He is simply maybe just responding to the Shining or to the hotel. He's more responding to the situation.
Mm,
So what I mean by that is like maybe he is, maybe he isn't, but a lot of it is because of the ridiculous place that he's in. I mean,
yeah.
anybody would potentially act crazy or immature. So I'm asking you to restate this, but in your own words. Like put some sentences together for what I just wrote here.
Okay.
All right, let's just give that a try, and we'll smooth it out if we need to.
So something like this basically, like from what you wrote with the restating the points, I just restated them, but like would this work?
Let me take a look here.
Okay.
All right. So the the book the book best describes how Jack was normal at the start, but then went insane. In the movie, the scene with the old lady from 217 is really creepy. We can't give your personal opinion. We can say that um, really creepy and much scarier compared to reading it in the book. However, in the book, we care much more about Wendy because she's a loving mom to Danny, who is not immature and instead is simply responding to the situation at the Overlook Hotel. Okay, that's much better. Um, so your thesis, so you okay, you are kind of allowed at the end to give, you can actually at the end give like one sentence, like personal opinion.
Okay.
You are allowed to do that. It's not the best way to go, but it's not like it's not unreasonable actually. Like sometimes writing is too formal, and it ought to be more about okay, it ought to be like also about you, what you think. So could you give me one sentence, kind of like your opinion on all that?
Okay. Wait, the one sentence is about like
Well, like so like I really enjoyed the book, and would recommend it to everyone.
okay.
Something like, or whatever you want to say. Like it's like a chance for you to kind of freewheel it a little bit, free skating, do whatever you want, kind of thing.
Here's the sentence.
All right. So yeah, that's great. That's exactly what you can sort of throw in at the end here. Now, the thing that we're still kind of lacking is restating the thesis. Um, that's what you've got here. Let me put this here. So let's get rid of this. The book is better than the movie because it describe so let's start with Jack, because let's say something about Jack here. Um, we made this point that Jack character transitions better. Um, I know you kind of say that here. I mean, it's kind of uh, uh, you really do have to restate your thesis though, which is that the book is better because it's a more comprehensive account of the transition. Um, you don't want to just restate it though. So is there is
Okay.
there Could you add a few words here about Jack and his transition?
You want me just to describe Jack like
Well, like we don't want to just use the same words.
right. Okay. All right, here's what I wrote about the Jack and more details and stuff.
Okay, so the part that I want to take from this, and this is good because you're really writing a lot more than you could, say just a few weeks ago. Um, I like this part where it says the book describes how Jack was normal and how he cared about his family. Um,
Hmm. I think I've improved a lot for the last few weeks
you
with
have,
my
you
writing.
have. We could say, however, the movie uh, really plays up the horror side of the horror side. Really plays up. We'll just say the horror. Um, all right. Okay, so let me remove some stuff here and see if we've got it. Um, so is there any reason to keep any of this other stuff? I mean, is it okay if I just get rid of it? So we
Yeah.
got a say, all right. Now we didn't use everything that was here. So the but you wrote almost 1,000 words. You probably wrote more than 1,000 words at some point. We just moved some of it around. Um, that's a 3 to 4 page essay, double spaced and all that. So, um,
Do they require like some colleges to make your essays double spaced?
yeah, the standard is that there's other formatting things that we're not going to worry about because the content is what matters here. And we already know your teacher's going to push back on you. Um, so I think the best thing is to sort of just say, okay, I've done it, and submit it, and hopefully, you know, it gets accepted. The teacher will
Okay.
not understand how much effort this took from you. Uh, they just can't get inside of like what you had to do to be able to come up with this, and it's quite an investment of time and energy. So,
Yeah.
really good, really good. Could this be improved? Yes, of course. All writing can be improved, but at what cost? Like at some point, it's like, okay, I've met the requirements. You know, I'm just going to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay with you? You feel like
Yeah.
this is sufficient? Okay. All right.
I'm impressed with myself. I've never seen myself write so much.
Yeah, you did really well. Put all that down on paper. So, uh, as far as where to go from here, you want us to go to lesson 11 in English? Let me share my screen. I believe we've done the narrative essay, which is the one on yourself.
Yeah, I think so.
So we can maybe look at those. You will be evaluating verbal speeches as opposed to the writing of others. Okay. You will have a total of 3 forms: speaker, date, location, who was the audience, did the speaker, rate. Okay. All right. So 3 different: public speaking, in person or on television. Okay. Um, let's just talk about some ideas here about where you can find some speeches. Um, you don't have to go out in person for this. We can find plenty of them. So let me share my screen here. All right, what comes to mind when you think about speeches? Who gives speeches? You just tell me verbally.
Who gives speeches? Like,
Yes. Like what type of people tend to give speeches?
usually like dictators.
Dictators is not a great word.
Oh,
We don't.
sorry.
Dictators are bad people generally.
Oh, okay. Did
Maybe
not
maybe
mean.
go presidents. Maybe we could say presidents.
Yeah, presidents, people that got Nobel Prizes.
Okay. Um,
Like a
have
good
you ever?
example is Malala. I think that's how you say her
Okay.
name.
Yeah, yeah. So that's we can use her. Yeah, yeah. That's a good one. I don't remember. I think that's it.
Hold
Um,
on, I'm gonna search it up because I don't want to say her name wrong because I don't know. Wait, hold on. Yeah, no, that's her name, Malala.
so I
She,
wrote, but
nothing, never mind.
no, no,
She was, she's
she's
she was
great.
cool. Yeah,
She's a very she's a very important person in her time, especially uh, you being a young woman. I mean, it's a she's a good person to consider here.
yeah.
Um,
Can I say Queen Elizabeth counts with giving speeches like the royal family of England?
sure. Yeah, royalty. Yeah.
Let's see, who's another one? I don't know who else.
So
Can
coaches
judges give
often
speech?
not
Can
not
judges in court? Yeah.
not necessarily. Uh, so we've kind of covered the categories. Like presidents refers to like politicians, royalty,
Right.
coaches are the other ones. Uh, and then graduations, you often see a speaker.
Valedictorians, the principal.
Okay. Yeah. So like Malala may have given a speech at like a graduation, or she just was asked to talk about um, her experiences. Um, so um, do any of these like excite you? Because you have to, it looks like you have to pick three of them. You
Um,
mentioned Queen Elizabeth.
yeah. Okay, let's see. We have to choose like three people. So Malala, Queen Elizabeth. Let's think of a president.
Well, there's been, I would go back in history. I think those are going to be better for you than maybe
Oh
current
yeah.
day trends. So there's many famous presidential speeches that have been given over the years. Um, a lot of people like John F. Kennedy's
I was just about to
inauguration.
say that. Yeah, but I want to like before say let's do John F. Kennedy, maybe research a little bit more about the different presidents' speeches.
Yeah. So what I would do here is go to YouTube and look for a speech. You can start with maybe the easy one, Malala. What you don't want to do is pick anything that's super long. So look for something that's say 10 to, you know, I don't know. I just 30 minutes even sounds like a long time because you're gonna have to watch it. You may not want to commit to watching something, especially if it's not all that interesting. But why don't you go to YouTube and see if you can find one on Malala?
Okay.
Another possible area here is what's called TED Talks. Are you familiar with those?
Oh yeah, I've seen too many TED Talks in my science homeroom when I used to be in public school.
Okay, those could also be consideration. They're generally shorter, which is why I tend to think of those.
Aren't TED
But
Talks
what
like 5 minutes long?
they can be a little longer, but the point is you don't have to uh, give up, your entire Saturday to watching these things because you're gonna have to watch three of them and then evaluate them. So what I was hoping we could do today is you like find the links to the videos, settle on something for each of these, and then you'll have some homework to go in and answer them. So why don't you spend a little bit of time now looking for some links for one of them, like Malala
Okay,
or Clean Elizabeth, or just the one that you're gonna like enjoying. That'll be the easiest one to do.
gotcha. All right, so I found some speeches.
Can you drop the links into the chat for me?
All right.
I'm not seeing that link if you've dropped it into the chat.
Oh no, I'm doing like all the links together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, trying to find, I'm just making sure because I'm dropping like two for each of them in case one of them isn't, you know. Let's see. I found one of the former ruler of England, King Charles, a speech for him, so I'm gonna put that down.
Okay.
Okay, I couldn't find. So here's what um found for links. I couldn't find one for another president, but it's okay.
Okay. So let's put those in here. Um, great. So the next part of this, I mean, you have to actually go and watch it, but you should know what you're looking for. You've already identified the speaker. The date is when they gave this. If you want to give it to the best of your abilities. The location, could be important. It depends on what it is. Like if a president is at a specific site, or King Charles is coming from the palace, that could be important. The purpose usually should be known pretty quickly from the beginning. So you would get a pretty good idea of the purpose, and that really is also based on who it's for. Why they're communicating to the audience. Um,
Right.
the audience, whenever you give a presentation or a talk, that should actually be the first thing that you ask, is like, who is my audience? All right. And then the next thing here, did the speaker make any mistakes? If so, give an example. I mean, we're pretty big on that today in the political world. If they misspeak or they say something that's cringeworthy, we'll know that. but I think what they're referring to here is like any sort of oddities or anything that was unusual. Did the speaker use formal or informal language? You'll notice like with the king or queen, it's probably very formal. Same with the president. Uh, Other speeches may be less formal. Um, Slang, number three here. You're looking for like words that seem out of context. Sometimes it's appropriate. They talk about things and it, that it's just necessary. Was the speaker prepared? You probably find that all of these are very prepared speeches. It's rare when people give a speech today that isn't prepared.
Yeah, because like I feel like an unprepared speech won't sound like professional.
Right. And these are all recorded. But if you were in like speech and writing class, and there's a group called Toastmasters, which I actually had no idea what it was until I looked into it a bit more, but it helps you with your public speaking. And they give you quick topics to generate a talk about, and they they help you to become better speakers on the fly. Um, but you don't need to know anything about that for this. The point is usually you can tell if someone's prepared or not. Um, for you interviewing someday, you will want to be able to quickly answer the question and appear prepared. But probably you'll probably say they're all prepared. Then you
Yeah.
just have to, you know, go through and give a 1 through 10 on these. Um, Certain presidents have been accused of reading from teleprompters and or whatnot. Like, I mean, you can usually tell if someone's reading from something, but uh, that's yeah, the whole list of things here. You'll probably say most of these people did a great job, um, unless you don't like the speech. That's the other thing,
Yeah.
and that's it. So, like, I mean, I didn't look what this first one from Malala. What is that? What is that about?
Um, I sent two because one was shorter. I think well one of them is I think I don't actually know actually. Hold on.
Yeah, like this is fine. You could watch this and then um,
Oops, I accidentally just clicked on it by accident and I almost played.
it's okay. Um, there's no like right or wrong here. You just let's see what this other one is. I think you have good variety.
Yeah.
Uh, the I would probably go with the first one there, if you're asking. So this one on Clean Elizabeth. Let me take a look at this. Okay, so I just clicked on that for Queen Elizabeth. That is also that would be just fine to use. Um, you can see that it actually gives you a description in there of what it's about. Uh, it's talking about Brexit. I don't know if you know or care about any of that. Um, it was sort of prior to COVID that it was a big deal. And then COVID came, and I don't know if people care any. So uh, it looks fine to me. It's not super long. That'd be fine. And then let's do presidents here. Let's see what you got for this one. All right, so this one's pretty long. Um, that you found for the president's speech. Let me see if did you look for his inauguration? So his inaugural address is pretty well known by people. I would recommend going for that one. It's also a little shorter.
Got it.
It'll give you, some appreciation for how much improvement in quality video and audio we've had since then. So these are short enough that we could, for example, tomorrow, if you wanted, we could both watch them and
Yeah, that'd
answer
be cool.
and do them. Um, so if you're okay with that, that's certainly how we can use the time tomorrow for this. I know you've got some technical issues with those images. Um, you can also embed those images into the file. You can just copy them into a document and submit that. That would also be an option.
Right.
Um, but
Well,
they're
while we
not.
were on break, I used the Genius scan and I was able to copy and paste the photos, so that was good.
Oh, good.
So
Good
it
news.
worked. So I was able to submit the lab.
Okay. And just for scheduling, it was 11. It's gonna be 11 and 12 tomorrow, not 10 and 11.
Okay.
That so for next week, have you thought? I know you're going out of town, or you're gonna be. But the dad said that we could do Thursday and Friday for sure.